Welcome to part 2 of Friendemy. If you enjoyed the first part, you're in for more thrilling continuation. Sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. Subscribe for more unique stories. The children sat close to their father, their hands holding him as though they might lose him too. They had been inconsolable since their mother's death, their bright, innocent eyes dulled by grief. "Why did Mummy have to go?" Amelia whispered, her voice trembling. Henry, though older, had no answer. He simply hugged his sister tighter. David knelt before them, his heart breaking with sorrow. "She's with the angels," he murmured, with his eyes full of tears. "But she'll always love you," he said, hugging them. On the day of Linda's funeral, Amaka wore a black lace dress. As she stood beside David, whispering comforting words, rejoicing for her victory. As the service concluded and the casket was lowered into the ground, Amaka felt a strange unease, but she brushed it off. The children were inconsolable, their cries piercing the air. David's grief seemed to deepen Amaka's control over him. That night, as David sat alone in the room, Amaka gently placed a hand on his shoulder. "David, I'll help you through this, for the children's sake," she said with feigned sincerity. David nodded, his eyes heavy with sorrow. "Thank you, Amaka. I don't know what I'd do without you." 2 days after the funeral, strange things began happening. Amaka heard soft whispers at night and felt an invisible presence watching her. And Amaka swore she heard Linda's laughter echoing faintly. One evening, she dismissed it as guilt or imagination. But the occurrences grew worse. Linda's favorite perfume lingered in the rooms. Amaka was sitting in the living room when the door suddenly creaked open. Enjoying the story so far? Don't miss out on more captivating African tales. Subscribe now and turn on notifications. David entered, his face pale, holding a piece of paper. "The autopsy results are in," he said, his voice trembling. Amaka froze. "Autopsy? Why did you order an autopsy?" David's eyes narrowed. "Something didn't sit right with me about Linda's death." He hesitated, then continued. "The results showed traces of poison. Someone was poisoning her." Amaka's throat tightened. She forced herself to look surprised. "Poison? That's horrible. Who could have done such a thing?" David studied her closely, his suspicion growing. "That's what I'm going to find out," he said, walking away. Amaka's fear grows. That night, as she lay in bed, her thoughts raced. She didn't notice the shadow moving silently outside her door. The next morning, David gathered the household staff in the living room. Amaka joined them, her heart pounding. Standing beside David was a figure she never expected to see again. "Linda, alive and well," Amaka gasped, her legs giving way beneath her. You're dead," she stammered. Linda stepped forward, her gaze piercing. "No, Amaka, I'm very much alive, and I know everything." The room erupted in shocked murmurs. Linda explained how she had suspected Amaka's treachery. The nausea, the dizziness, and the bitterness in her meals were signs Linda couldn't ignore. With the help of a trusted friend, Dr. Ephioma, the devicer planned to fake her death and collect evidence. Poisoned food samples, video recordings. With evidence in hand, Amaka's betrayal was exposed. Amaka broke down, collapsing to her knees. "I'm sorry, Linda. I didn't mean to hurt you. It was the devil. It consumed me. Please forgive me." Linda's eyes softened, though her voice remained firm. "Amaka, I trusted you. I loved you like a sister, and this is how you repay me." The police arrived moments later, and Amaka was taken away, sobbing uncontrollably. "Mama," Amelia called, standing by the door. Henry's jaw dropped. For a moment, he was frozen, unable to believe what he was seeing. "Mum," he whispered. "It's me, my babies," Linda said, her voice trembling with emotion. She spread her arms wide, and in an instant, Amelia ran toward her, her cries filling the room. Amelia leaped into her mother's embrace, sobbing uncontrollably. You came back, Mama." Linda held her daughter tightly, tears streaming down her face. "I never left you, my love. I never left you." Henry hung back for a moment, doubting and relief warring in his young heart. Then he stepped forward, his voice breaking. "Mama, you're alive?" "Yes, Henry," Linda said. "I'm here, and I'm never leaving you again." He ran into her embrace, burying his face in her shoulder. "I thought you were gone forever. I was so scared." Linda kissed his forehead. "I'm here now, and no one will take me away from you." David watched the reunion from the corner of the room, with a real-live heart and gratitude as tears dropped from his eyes. The four of them sat together, wrapped in an embrace of love and relief. For the first time in weeks, laughter and joy returned to the house. As Linda held her children, she silently vowed never to let them feel the pain of loss again. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together as a family, stronger and more united than ever. Amaka, in prison, faces the consequences of her actions as she reflected on her mistakes and the envy that had consumed her, hoping to one day make peace with the life she destroyed. Linda also became an advocate for awareness about toxic and envy in friendships, sharing her story to help others recognize betrayal before it's too late. Moral lesson: not everyone who comes into your life has good intentions. Be careful who you trust. Blindly trusting someone without understanding their motives can lead to betrayal and harm. Balance trust with caution. Thank you for watching. If you loved this story, show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to Movie Magic Studio. Your subscription helps us keep African folktales alive and thriving. See you in the next magical tale.